as you know, I'm a hometown boy. You know, I wasn't born here, but I was raised here. I went through Big Rapid High School. My dad taught here 35 years. I'm one of 6 kids. I'm the oldest. And after I left Ferris, I went to Ferris two times. First time I graduated in, when was it, 74, and came with an environmental health degree, and went out and worked for a while, decided I wanted to do optometry, and came back and did that. And the rest of my life has basically been the Air Force. Well, I felt like I've been a Bulldog all my life. Really, I remember as a little kid, my dad taking me to Ferris football games up, in the field before the stadium was there. It was just bleachers. I remember going to basketball games in the alumni hall back when, and it's just kind of been an evolution over the years. I feel like I've never left. It's kind of it's my fabric, I guess. I know that when I graduated, I really felt like I'm graduating from a top flight program. When I entered the Air Force, that was kind of validated in a number of ways. Was always being complimented on clinical acumen, and was able to step into leadership roles, and that just kind of carried. When I was here for my degrees many years ago, Ferris spent a lot of time and energy with veterans, because when I was here before, that was the Vietnam era. Okay, so we had a lot of veterans. In fact, if I remember correctly, there was a veterans club and there was a veterans association, and they were a pretty active bunch. Ferris was poised then to take care of them, and I don't see any reason why I'm sure they're poised to do it again. And what's nice about Ferris is that Ferris, has the broad range of degrees and things that these veterans can do. Wow. Well, as I mentioned, there was kind of 2 careers. When I graduated with an environmental health degree, moved to rural Illinois, was a public health, a sanitarian, and was very invested in the community, church, and really we thought that was going to be kind of what our life was going to be. And I got restless. We came back, went to optometry school, and the Air Force has been really good to me. I started in 1983 in clinical practice. I was a solo optometrist in the middle of the New Mexican desert, Holloman Air Force Base. I was was chosen to be the first optometry resident. The Air Force started an optometry residency which kind of focused folks in treatment of ocular disease, diagnosis and treatment. And when I left there, I got to use that pumped up skill. When I went to North Dakota, I was an adjunct faculty here for Ferris. Ferris sent Grand Forks students every year, so I was trained numerous Ferris interns for about 3 years. That was pretty cool. After that, I got to use that training program, or that experience, and they sent me to Shepherd Air Force Base to train optometry technicians. And I love that. During that time, that program went through an AOA accreditation, and who should show up to do the accreditation visit? Dr. Fred Nista. He just happened to be on the team. I mean, it could have been any team, but I just thought it was interesting that what are the chances of that combination happening? But that was pretty neat. After I left the schoolhouse there, got the opportunity to work for the Air Force Surgeon General in Washington, D.C. After that, I got to step out into an area that, when I initially entered the Air Force, was not possible, and that is to command a medical unit. So I left the Surgeon General's office and commanded a unit out at Offutt Air Force Base, a support squadron, and it was about 300 people, and lab, pharmacy, resource management, its readiness was a huge undertaking. I got to use those skills downrange. Then I actually deployed from Offutt when we had some contingency operations back in 2003. So I got to command a medical group actually in the AOR. Well, as you mentioned, I have a lot of connections here. I mean, my dad, my father-in-law, again, I mentioned I'm one of 6. All my siblings have attended here. I've got cut nieces and nephews. I've got in-laws, brother and sister-in-law that have come here. They've got all kinds. I mean, it doesn't matter whether it's environmental health, optometry, dental hygiene, plastics, business, nursing. Since I grew up here, it's like this is home. You know, this is, and I just couldn't imagine it. You know, anything any other way. Here I am. I'm settled. I have a career in public health. I'm ready to go. You know, everything seems to be going fine, but I just wasn't settled. Believe this or not, once Linda and I made the decision, we both quit jobs. We moved to Big Rapids. I still had some prerequisites that I needed, so I didn't even have didn't have the credentials done yet. Moved to Big Rapids, and got some credentials, then applied. I didn't even know if I was getting in. I mean, that's not an easy thing to do, but I just decided, okay, what's going to happen if I don't get in? I'm just going to apply the next year, you know. And so, and I tell that to my subordinates in the military, you know, if you believe it's the right thing, you just need to go for it. And it might not happen in your time frame, but if you keep pursuing it's the right thing and you do it respectfully and honestly, it will happen. I can tell you that Ferris really set me up for success in a lot of ways. But really, looking back on my career, the 2 degrees that I have, although not intentionally done that way, really set me up for success because they were really the price of admission to my career as it is now. I'd do it again in a second, and I've got no regrets. Just looking forward for the next chapter. We pledge allegiance